Hello? Okay. Ren, you typed first. And it doesn't have to be up to me. I saw your messages when I got off work. It doesn't have to be up to me. It's just that I notice firsthand whenever someone appears in the room. And last time, whenever you guys, I said that we shouldn't do any more Walking Dead ideas for the streams, and you guys gave me over 20 ideas Walking Dead wise, even if some of them were crossovers, you officially proved me wrong that we are not out of the Walking Dead ideas. Yet. But that doesn't mean you guys still can't recommend other things. It's just that I was proven wrong on the fact that we ran out of ideas, supposedly. So we'll go ahead and... That would technically be what if The Walking Dead was a dream. Like, Rick knows everything, he knows what to do, he knows what he's gonna do. So that will imply that. Hope you got my message regarding Dale there, Ren. Negan killed Rick at the end of season 8. If Negan had killed Rick, everyone else, in any sort of way, if Negan killed Rick, then everyone else would either submit or get themselves killed. Either way, bad ending. Yes, but even so, if Negan killed Rick in any form of fashion, then everyone else would be so discouraged that even if Negan won, he would get gunned down immediately, and then every single other savior might have been killed at that point, and the group might have honestly gotten darker. It would have been a bad ending overall. You kill a main character off like Rick or Daryl or Maggie or Carol, a spin-off character, and you don't have a way to replace them, like my What If Merle lived instead of Daryl sort of story that I'm going to be doing, it basically comes down to the fact that if you don't have a character to replace them, it really doesn't make for a good story. And I used to do short little one-parters, which I might do more in the future. It's just, I've wanted the stories to be like long, in-depth, long enough that it makes for a good story. Hi, Gargiulio, by the way. What if Negan killed Daryl? I think I scrapped that one. Joined Madison's family. I've had Abraham and Daniel become really good friends since there were so many clues about it in my What If Madison's Family Joined Rick. But if I were to do that, honestly, I wouldn't see too much happening outside of maybe Abraham and Daniel playing more of a good role. But as a cohesive story, I can't really think of anything. But if you want if you haven't, check out the Abraham and Daniel parts in my What If Madison's Family Joined Rick. So what was I going to say? Oh, Gargiulio. There's something that I wanted to bring up. I was watching Gargiulio's death like a few times over and him like close to the end. And I thought of whenever I make What If Gargiulio was spared by Merle, and then what if Gargiulio killed Merle? I'm going to say for the beginning sequence, how important Gargiulio actually is as a character, and this is something you guys should listen to too. Pay attention to this. No one ever really survived a sword strike from Michonne's blade, except Gargiulio. He is the only one who ever survived a sword strike and did not die. Merle killed him, remember that, not Michonne. So that's going to tie into how important his character becomes when I make the stories about him. And I've made Gargiulio live to at least Terminus before, so it's not like I throw away his character. And it's taken me forever to come up with a story for him because I could never think of anything. He just seemed like a small character. Hey, Goat. What if Rick Grimes never gained his sanity back? That wouldn't happen. Because anyone who's lost a family member, a wife, a son, whatever, even in real life, it ties into that because even people who have lost their loved ones for a long time, they came back. They're just a little different. So for Rick not to come back, he changed after that. So that part of Officer Friendly that was nice before Laurie's death, that did change him. So, yeah. Happened in 7 and 8. That what if is saved. What if Rick's group, the Whisperers, and the Saviors fought? That's going to be a saved what if. It already is saved for the future. What's your what if there, Goat? I don't think Gargiulio would live long. Though, seems like a short what if. I should have guessed that he would say something like that. Come on, Goat. Destinies is the only game that you're going to see on this channel. Unless they make Destinies better or come up with another what-if game regarding like Dragon Ball, Marvel, something like that, you're never going to see another game on the channel because it would differ away from what-if topics too much. And if I'm not going to play a game that doesn't revolve around what made The Walking Dead stand out, what made me get into it, and money. I've explained this before, but I don't want to get like mad explaining it again, so that's why I'm explaining it calmly. We ain't got no ideas yet, but we'll get there. I've made Axel survive before to at least, what is it? I've made him survive to the Saviors before, but as a cohesive what-if, Axel's just not one of those characters that I feel could fit in fully. I think making the stories that I have and making him survive to the Saviors is the best, honestly, that I could provide him. Unless you have an idea for what I could do for him other than what I've done, then I'll think about it. What if Andrea wanted Dale? People have recommended me that one before, but I just don't feel in the show that it was right for Andrea. It doesn't feel right for Andrea to be with Dale in a romantic like sense in the show. In the comics, they can do whatever they want, but for the show, it just feels right to have Dale being the father figure, like a teacher, someone who cares about Andrea in a like parent type way. The romantic type way, it seemed weird in the comics, but you know, they can do whatever. I'm not gonna. It's obviously too late to change what's already happened. What if there was civil war? That would be kind of outlandish between two different people. And honestly, if the group's split in half just because of Rick and Shane, then, I don't know. Maybe. I gotta think on that. Give me a minute. Maybe. I've got it. Rick, so this is going to happen right when the barn scene happens, but Rick and Shane, they have their disagreement. Shane goes out, gets the guns from Dale, and that's whenever the Civil War happens. And instead of just busting down the barn, straight afterwards, Shane gets everyone on his side that could be on his side, like Daryl and whoever else. And that's when the group splits in half. Now, originally, if something like that were to happen, then I feel like the group would either split off or all of them would just end up killing each other. But I think that I might be able to make a story where the group splits off into two groups. So it would be like, what if Shane was exiled by Rick, or what if Shane killed Rick, except different, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I think I could do that. Let me see here. What if Shane... So that's going to be number one for the stream. What if Shane and Rick had Civil War? Something like that. Of course, these ideas aren't going to happen till, like, maybe years in the future, because I'm so far ahead of schedule, it's not even funny. I have over 100 ideas saved, not joking. Possibly 200. So, and with how long Dale's story and however many others are going to be, it basically comes down to how long it will take for most of these ideas to happen. But I want to be ahead of schedule, like I've said before. So, I'll figure it out when the time comes. I haven't watched World Beyond besides small notices with Jadis from the CRM. So I couldn't really tell you how that would go with Elizabeth and Huck. But that's our first idea for the stream so far. What if Shane and Rick had Civil War? Bit of a corny name for just two individual people, but then again, Civil Wars and World Wars happen between two separate leaders and everything like that. It makes sense. What if Jadis traded Negan? That's actually a saved what if, so... It wasn't because someone recommended it to me. It's saved from whenever I watched The Walking Dead, like a month ago. That, I saved that. What if Gareth's group captured Sasha? I think that one's saved, or like, it's either what if Tyrese died instead of... It's either Tyrese... I have other people dying instead of Tyrese with the Noah situation, and a bunch of other people getting kidnapped by Dawn. But with that one... With that particular set, I think I have Sasha or Tyrese getting bit instead of Bob, but if I don't, then it's because, honestly, you'd have to switch around characters' rules. Sasha, I think definitely I have saved, but Tyrese, he wasn't there, so I don't think I have him. I might have saved that one. So I think that what if saved. Whew. So how are you guys liking the Dale story so far? If Troy Otto was the leader of the Reapers. If that was the case, then Pope would be part of the farm. So honestly, Madison's story could go a heck of a lot darker. I could do something else, like what if Troy joined the Reapers? But as for becoming the leader, I could do this as two separate ideas, but it would take a lot of effort to like make that happen. What if Troy and Pope swapped? All right. That's three ideas so far. So, like I said in the Discord, and for any of you who did not get it, parts 12 and 13 of the Dale story are going to be 24 minutes and 33 minutes, respectively, because that's going to tie into how the story gets so influential and everything I've been teasing up to this point actually happens. And trust me, you guys are going to love it. A lot of twists and turns, a lot of dark moments. I put a lot of effort into like how I voiced it and how I did it. And you guys are not going to be disappointed. Which is why even if it does go to 40 parts, like I've been saying, you guys are still going to love it. And as for where I'm at production-wise, I'm officially near season 6's canon storyline. And after I reunited everyone at Father Gabriel's church and everything, after taking forever to do that long part after, you know, the dark ending, like I said, and the plot twists, after I reunited them all, going with the story past that is much easier because I'm past the long part, which I thought would be the end of the story. Turns out, it's not. So, yeah. And just to show you how long it is, I have over 900, maybe even 1,000 pictures just for the long part. So that just goes to show you how big it's going to be and why I've been teasing it so much. But you guys are going to love it. All right, that's 3 ideas for the stream so far. What if Shane and Rick had Civil War? What if Troy joined the Reapers? And what if Troy and Pope swapped? So we're doing good. I might even extend it a little bit just so we can... I mean, we have a decent amount of people in here, like a couple few there, but I don't know. I just feel like kind of extending it for some reason. I'm sure you guys wouldn't mind if I did even to an hour and 15 or something. Okay, the president one's a little bit too... It's too weird for the Walking Dead universe, in my opinion, because the president hasn't been addressed in the entirety of the show or franchise. So, honestly, I just can't really see anything coming up of it. What if Andrew escaped prison, like the comics, and joined the Saviors? I'm gonna be doing a what if Tomas survived, so honestly, I think I might just touch upon Andrew's character in that what if. But as a lone what if, it might rip off what I'm gonna do for what if Tomas survived. So I'm gonna leave that one go. What if Rick and Shane were mercenaries? Okay. I've had Rick being an armed military soldier, and I think another few upgrades for Rick that you guys have recommended, but mercenaries? Giving him a John Wick sort of thing, huh? I like it. What if Rick and Shane were mercenaries? Okay. Number 4. All right. What if Eastman was in season 1? I think... Yeah, I have Eastman already part of the Atlanta camp as a saved what if from someone else. So, yeah. All right, that's 4 ideas so far. What was I gonna say? Oh, I finished the Transformers Prime, like I said a few weeks ago, and I did all the live action movies. Not Rise of the Beast because it's a prequel, and I don't feel like, besides watching it for maybe some prequel what ifs, it would change much. But I am now officially, after Transformers, on to Pokemon, the entirety of the Pokemon franchise. And I'm on the first chapter, the Indigo League. So, just to tell you where I'm at, like saving what if wise. Just figured that I'd mention that. Now to wait. I don't think I need to catch up on anything. So. Freaking Shane Mercenaries. Okay. I don't need to catch up on anything. Yeah, I might just extend it because it looks like we're low on people. Looks like everyone dipped. I'll be right back. So for anyone who comes back or anyone who enters the stream, just give me a sec. I'll be right back. I have returned. What if Laura had managed, with the help of other people, to capture Beta when he infiltrated to take Gamma? I have what if Beta was captured as a saved what if. I think it's exactly because of that. Either that or different plot for how he gets captured. But yeah, what if Beta gets captured is a saved idea. I wonder where King Devon, Braden Douglas, and King of Portals are. We're missing a good amount of people. That's why I think I'll extend it. We got 4 ideas so far. People have asked me to do what if T-Dog survived, and I'm actually going to do separate what ifs regarding that idea, and I've made him survive till near the end before in many of my stories. But as for T-Dog's specific stories, I'm finally going to follow Destiny's and make their what ifs for T-Dog surviving better. Like, what if T-Dog joined the governor or became the governor? And what if T-Dog joined Negan? So you'll see some T-Dog what ifs here on the channel eventually. And I've made him, like I said, survive to the end before in a good few of my stories. Yeah, we're definitely missing plenty of people. I have What If the Vatos Gang Turned Good and a remake for What If the Vatos Gang Kidnapped Beth. But as for joining Negan, you know what? I'll make one more exception for the fact of the Vatos Gang, just based on how many weapons they had and how they worked as a group. To be honest, I think Dawn and the group, that's a what if that I'm going to touch upon in the future. Like, what if Dawn's group killed the Vatos Gang? Because they definitely seemed like the type, even at the time, to be able to survive. But then they just friggin' died. So what if the Vatos Gang joined Negan will be the 5th idea. Give me 1 sec here. What if Beth got kidnapped by Gareth's group? That's a saved what if. I don't know if I recommend. If someone, no, someone recommended it, definitely. Hi. So that is 5 ideas so far. I'm just turning my TV on and everything because watch more Pokemon whenever I'm done here. And chillax. What if Merle joined the Whisperers? That's a saved what if, along with him joining the Reapers and several other what ifs. What if Daryl joined the Claimers? I can't say that he would, because Daryl has been a part of every single group up till this point. He has been a part of the friggin' Claimers, Negan's group, been kidnapped, and basically been a part of every single villain group in the entirety of The Walking Dead, and never once joined them to fight his family or the people that he had been around. So for him to join, that would destroy his character. So, honestly, no, I can't really say that I could make a story compelling enough for that to be the case. I mean, he kind of joined them until he found out that Rick, Michonne, and Carl were alive. And then it was all just freaking... It was all fake. What if Rick's group fake accepted to join Terminus? Well, I think sooner or later, probably an episode into after they originally got out of there, finding out that they were cannibals, I think the same things would happen, and more of the group might have actually gotten eaten, and that would have honestly made things darker. So if they had prolonged their stay there or something, they honestly might have all just gotten killed, even if Carol did come in with save. I don't know. It honestly just seems like that just seems like something that would... I can't say that I could make a story out of that without... Like, it just sounds bad overall. Oh, jeez. So if any of you have seen my Discord and everything, what I've been teasing besides the 24-minute and 33-minute videos, what I've been teasing on my production, Dale finally gets his first kill. That's where I'm at. He finally kills his first person. And Carol and Pete have an encounter, basically symbolizing to Carol what happened to Bumblebee from Transformers and Skinner from 101 Dalmatians. If you know, you know. You don't know, well, then I can't spoil anything else. Just know it's going to be freaking gruesome, this story, if it hasn't been already. And I've added some little gruesome details here and there in stories, but I never went fully in depth, because I can handle that kind of stuff. Gruesome details, bloody gore, and stuff. It's just a certain level of it that I can't stand, you know? Any of you who watch horror movies and like horror shows and everything, you get what I mean. There's many of horror that I feel like we can like stand, or bloody moments. But everyone has a limit, no matter how scary it is or how gruesome it is. What if Charlie Fear was in Atlanta? I have Charlie and Ennis, her guardian, being a part of the Atlanta camp, so that will happen, along with Dakota and Virginia, I think. That's a separate what if. Get a haircut? Why? There are plenty of men out there with long hair. Norman Reedus, Keanu Reeves. Look at half the wrestlers in the friggin' WWE. They have long hair too. I don't know what's so wrong about seeing a guy with long hair. And honestly, it's not the first time I've gotten a comment or a freaking, like, I don't know, reminder to get my hair cut. I mean, honestly, some part of me gets bugged about it, but to be honest, it's just the way I want my hair. So what if I want it long? Everyone's different in their own way. Alright, so we got 5 ideas so far. We're cool. And like I said, considering that like we're missing a good amount of people, like King of Portals, King Devin, what's his name? Braden Douglas. We're missing a good amount of people, and I think Goat and Ren dipped out like a bit ago, like earlier on in the stream. So I'd say that we might just extend the stream to 1 hour and 15 or something like that, just so we get more people in here. I'll try and think of ideas too, because like I said, even if this is a Q&A for mainly people to recommend ideas to me to do, I still want to think of ideas myself, because if I made you guys do all the work, that wouldn't really be fair, I feel. I've gotten a better understanding of that. Like, I even came up with the majority of ideas on this channel on my own, so if the Q&As were mainly just an idea to keep this channel going for years on end, which you guys have more than done with almost over 200 ideas so far saved. As for collectively on the channel, we could be going for over 400. So I'm talking like combined as a cohesive whole. Hello. What if Tyrese killed Carol? I think I might touch upon that. I have a what if Carol confessed early story, and I think I have that lined up. And if I don't, then I might do something like that or have Tyrese seriously injure her in that story. Hey, Slick. Nice, we're actually getting a few people in here now. I think, like I said, I think Ren and Goat, they dipped early on. And King Devin, Braden Douglas, King of Portals, we're missing, even Sophia, we're missing a good amount of people. I get it, life, but I don't know. I think I just expected more. But it's all right. At least we got 5 ideas so far for the stream. And sometimes, like even one of my early Q&As, we only had 4 ideas. And that's fine, because even if it's just a few ideas, we still have a huge bunch of ideas. So we're like, it's definitely all right, even if we have a few. What if Negan killed all the group except of Rick? I think someone recommended that to me. And that's a saved what if. I can't remember who, but someone did. So that's already saved. What if Dakota spared Teddy? Well, even if she had, I feel that Teddy was just going to end up dying anyway in the explosion based on how he acted, and how Dakota probably would have just forced him to be a part of the explosion too. Honestly, the death was very just kind of out there and yet not. I feel that it was almost, it really wouldn't have changed much, I feel, had he lived. Because unless they busted their way into the bunker with June and John Dory Sr., I feel that Teddy would have just ended up dying anyway. Hey, Ren. Nice to see you back. What if John Dory met Abraham? I have John Dory being a part of the Atlanta camp and several John Dory themed what ifs. So I think I'm just going to end up doing John Dory meeting Abraham in some sense in that what if. Because just as a whole, it doesn't make much sense. Like the Abraham, Eugene, and Rosita in Fear thing. I've made Abraham and Daniel talk a lot and have a bunch of interactions in my What If Madison's Family Joined Rick. But as a collective what if, I feel like I'd just be rehashing material. And true, I've done that before, but there's a certain level of like, you can only do it so much. That's actually, I have that idea specifically saved for a future what if. What if The Walking Dead was a dream? Like Rick shoots the bridge and he wakes up in the hospital as a coma. So he doesn't know about the CRM, he doesn't know about the Reapers, and he doesn't know about the Whisperers or the Commonwealth. So he knows everything that happens aside from that stuff. So that idea is going to happen, yet it's not going to be the way you really described it, kind of. So just know that that kind of premise will happen. I scrapped it a few times, but then I found that I could do something with it. That's what I've done with ideas before. I've just scrapped them, and many of them do come back. It's either my mood or that I can't find a story. So, yeah. What if Rick never found the group and became leader of the Saviors? I have Rick's role being replaced with Negan, where Rick is in the shoes of Negan, and Negan's basically the one who was best friends with Shane. So, you could call it that kind of idea. I feel that that's the best I'm going to get out of that. Because honestly, if Rick had gone any farther than he was before Morgan saved him, then he probably would have ended up dying in Atlanta. Because he was all on it by himself. And it was just season 1 Rick. So, honestly, it's either Atlanta or you gotta replace his role with someone else. Like I said, he's a main character, a spin-off character. What if OG trilogy was in The Walking Dead? Green Goblin is in The Walking Dead. I made that possible, I think. But as for Harry, I think I might just include him into that what if. What if scavengers killed Simon? I have what if Jadis traded Simon to the CRM, but as for killing him, I mean, I didn't think about that. But honestly, I feel like I don't know if it would change anything. Jadis trading him, I feel would change it more. But killing him, I feel like it would be the same story, except Jadis's group might not. With Jadis and her people, they were just trading supplies. So with her people still around, killing him or trading him, honestly, I feel would be like the same result. Negan's different because Negan was about to get traded when Jadis's people were already dead. So honestly, I feel like that would be kind of a rehash, except it would be a different circumstance for Simon. What if Tony Stark was in The Walking Dead? People have asked me to do that one before, but I feel like Tony Stark or Iron Man is just too powerful for The Walking Dead. Green Goblin and Doc Ock and several others, I can nerf to a level, even Kid Goku at the beginning of Dragon Ball, and like several others. But as for Iron Man, certain people you can nerf and it make it make sense. But for him, I can't really think of anything. Spider-Man I'm not putting into The Walking Dead either, but I am going to make Morgan and Rick get bit by the spider in The Walking Dead. The same spider that Peter was bit by. So technically I'm making Spider-Man in The Walking Dead, except I'm not, because it's not Spider-Man. It's not like Rick and Morgan are going to have freaking spider costumes or anything. They're just going to have spider powers. That's not a what if from Cars that I think I could really do. I have what if from Cars, since my first one, like the Radiator Springs one, was so popular. It was recommended to me by my one of my family members, by the way, when I did it. But anyway, since that one was so popular, people have recommended me a few other Cars ideas. So just know in the future, you're going to see, like, what if the King went to Radiator Springs? Or what if Chick Hicks went to Radiator Springs? Or what if Doc Hudson never crashed? Those three particularly, you'll see. But as... Oh, and a remake for the Radiator Springs one, because someone recommended me, what if instead of Lightning McQueen dying in that story, he joins up with Finn and becomes a super spy? A very jerky super spy, mind you, because he'd be a jerk. But just know that those ones, at least, you'll see with Cars in the future. But for that one, I can't really... it's not really a what if that I could do. Do you think that Batman could beat Iron Man? It really depends on which iteration of both characters you're talking about. It's like Goku and Superman. There are 1,000 cases where Goku could kill Superman, but even Death Battle has said that Superman almost 9 times out of 10 comes out on top, but we're not talking about them. We're talking about Batman and Iron Man. But still, with any versus battle, there are 1,000 ways the battle could go. So, it would basically come down to... That's why I love what if ideas so much, because it expands on thousands of different universes. So, it just really depends. What if Nick got bit? Me? I don't know. I'm going to be doing a remake on What If I Was in The Walking Dead or Dragon Ball or Marvel. But I'll touch on that subject maybe. But as a collective what if, I feel like it's just best that I just leave it for then. What if Beta killed Gabriel? I have Gabriel being a Pike victim. Like the... I have Gabriel being a Pike victim, but as for Beta killing Gabriel, we haven't really seen too many... We didn't see too many Beta and Gabriel interactions. Rosita and Beta fought, but as for Gabriel and Beta, even if I made that possible and it was a thing, I feel like... I can't really say that I could come up with the story. My bad. So let's see what else we got here. What if Charlie killed Alicia? People have asked me to do what if Alicia died instead of Travis. So that one will actually touch upon Travis surviving. As a collective what if, can't really come up with anything for Travis. So Travis surviving instead of Alicia, that would have to be the best case. But as for Charlie killing Alicia instead of Nick, I could work around that, because even then, before Nick died, Alicia was still in a dark place. To be fair, they both thought they lost their mother, and Nick never got to see Madison alive. I'm glad that Alicia lived, though. Except her entrance into the last episode was very... Fear the Walking Dead's ending point looks like kind of a joke besides Madison and Alicia reuniting, compared to the original Walking Dead's finale. It just didn't really hit as hard, besides what left us with our characters, like where they all went. What if Charlie killed Alicia? Yeah, kind of. I wish it could have been better. So that's 6 ideas so far, by the way. Yeah. Like I said, it never matters if you guys give me a bunch of ideas or small ideas. No matter if it's from a different show or movie-based franchise, as long as we're all talking together, coming up with decent ideas, it's all the same to me. Just as long as we all get along and you like the ideas that I present on the channel. And your ideas are collective enough to show on the channel too. That's all I care about. What if Verbalase didn't pay $50K for that? I don't know what you're talking about there, and that just seems like something random. Yeah. Like I said last stream, you guys definitely proved me wrong on the fact that we ran out of the Walking Dead ideas for the channel. Because you guys have really spat out like a huge 100. And for any of you who have ever wondered on the channel why I stick to one genre until I'm completely out of ideas for it, it's just based on how I feel. Like The Walking Dead. I didn't do other ideas besides The Walking Dead for the longest time because I wanted to exhaust all the ideas. So, if you don't see other show or movie-based franchises appearing on the channel for a long time, it's because I want to exhaust all of the Walking Dead ideas for good this time. Even if some of the stories are, like Dale's story, going to be long, I hope you guys enjoy it nonetheless, even if they are long. Or just know that series other than The Walking Dead have been on the channel before and they will be again. It just will be a hot minute. He's paid someone to make a self-insert with him. That seems kind of silly and outlandish, honestly. Seems like something completely random, so no, I'm not going to do that. Well, thank you. I respect that. But I just figured I'd let you guys know why I'm sticking out from doing other series. People have told me before on videos that that I should invest in like different variety. Like I should maybe do other what ifs at the same time, like Moscow X or like Lytro DLC or Lytro Storm. I should do other what ifs. But if I were to do other what ifs with parts unfinished, like say I'm doing Dale's story and I were to go to another story, that would just annoy the crap out of me, get on my OCD. I feel like if I start a story, I should go through with it. It's like watching a show or movie-based franchise, and I've talked about this too. If you watch something, a franchise, you should always watch it the whole way through. Even if your favorite character or something goes, you never know what the rest of the story is going to bring, which is why I feel sorry for the people who won't get to see or don't want to see Rick and Michonne coming back because they would, you know, butt out of the show. You get what I'm saying? So that's just facts of the day from Nick, so you guys know. Call it a little truth bubble, if you will. I never agree with like stopping short on a story or a franchise because there's so much more you don't know it's going to offer. But people, most times, like 5 out of 10, they don't give it a chance. And I feel bad for that because you should always give something a chance. Like, heck, I'm finally going to be getting into Naruto, Attack on Titan, and the entirety of the Pokemon franchise. And I never got into any of that at all. So that goes to show, you give something a chance, you might actually like it. Star Wars, I tried to give a chance, but that's another thing entirely. But at least I got into Harry Potter. That's another thing, too. I got into Harry Potter, so give other things a chance, and yet I don't, if you get what I'm saying. And it's not like you're going to like everything. It's just that if you give it a chance, be it a favorite food, or a story, or a franchise, then you might get somewhere. Jesus, I really could have been a motivational speaker if I didn't pursue YouTube. I've been told by people too, that I could have been a freaking motivational speaker. And I definitely agree with it. With how good I can tell stories and how I could just come up with random speeches on the fly. Sometimes people tell me I'm too talkative for my own good. But anyways, we got 6 ideas for the stream so far, and they're decent ideas. I honestly think that they're the best ones that I can pick out of this are Charlie killing Alicia, the Vatos gang joining Negan, and Rick and Shane being mercenaries. The other 3 are good. Even Troy joining the Reapers is good. I'm just saying that those are the best ones that I can pick out of that. What if Travis joined Teddy? Honestly, people milk the crap out of the fact that Travis may have survived after getting literally shot and then jumped out of the helicopter. How would he survive that? So honestly, I feel that any what if revolved around Travis is moot, besides him surviving instead of Alicia, or Alicia dying instead. So honestly, I can't really do anything Travis related without it making no sense. And true, I've done outlandish what ifs. What if Carl joined Negan? Which is going to get a remake, by the way, except it will be way better. But it just doesn't make sense to me to do a moot what if. What if Carl had the ability to time travel? Oh, see, that one's just like a silly. Not even like, it's good silly kind of, but if Carl had the ability to time travel, then, oh my god, I can't think of how many inconsistencies that would have. What if Virginia survived? I think I might be able to do that. Hit the gritty. No, thank you. What if Rosita got captured by Martin instead of Bob? Well, Rosita, I have... Whatever that... Oh, that's coming from over there. Just ignore that little noise there if you can hear that. That shrilling, it's just a freaking washer. What if Rosita... Well, see, I'm going to be doing Sasha or Tyrese dying instead of Bob, but for Rosita, she wasn't there at the food bank. So to replace her character, Rosita, once again, she wasn't a spin-off character, but she did live until the end. So it's hard to kill her off in a few senses, too. I have Rosita-themed what-ifs, but killings, it's kind of hard. I have a few of those, too, but I don't know. It's just kind of hard. Can someone see if, like, King Devin, King of Portals, and Braden Douglas will get into the stream? Like, off Discord or, like, go into a comment on YouTube and see if they'll come in? Because, I mean, you guys have been, like, good, and we've gotten 7 ideas, but even if I'm extending it, stream's going to be over in, like, 15, 20 minutes to at least an hour 15 or hour 20. But, you know, I'd like some more people in here. It just feels kind of lonely. But yeah, that Virginia surviving, I can do something with that. So that's 7 ideas. What if Merle killed Glenn? Glenn, honestly, I have Glenn dying at Terminus, and I've killed Glenn off before in my What If Madison's Family Joined Rick, whenever Nicholas killed him. But honestly, those are like the only 2 instances, because even though Glenn lived to season 7, he was still an important character most of the time, so that's kind of hard to do there. And honestly, I don't know. It just feels like Maggie would have probably died too. Or like, I don't know. It just doesn't seem like something that I can do. I feel like him dying at Terminus and me killing him off at the instance with Nicholas, that's like the best I can do. Oh, and I've killed him off at the satellite outpost whenever I put that little Michonne hint with her hallucination in for, I think it was what if Lori survived or what if Amy survived. So, yeah. What if Beth got shot instead of Axel? I have what if Carol died instead of T-Dog, so T-Dog could be like the new Carol. And people have asked me to shoot other people instead of Axel, but Axel is no Carol. And Axel is no Carol, and Beth, really? There's not... I don't think I could do that. What if Axel turned... Because with any story, if you kill someone off, especially at least a decent or very important character, you need someone to replace them. And Axel is no Carol or Beth. With how they played their characters and how they acted, it just doesn't really add up. That's what if for John Dory's already saved, along with him being in the Atlanta camp, and what if June was shot instead of John. So technically, John Dory surviving? Yeah, I have several John Dory ideas saved. What if June was in The Walking Dead instead of Carol? You know, that's funny. June and Carol, honestly, have a lot in common, more so than Andrea. You know what? What if Carol and June swapped? All right, I like it. What if Leah killed Maggie? Well, then Daryl still would have killed her. And then Dead City wouldn't have happened. And Maggie was still key in the last few episodes. So honestly, Herschel would be without parents. And if the Croats still kidnapped Herschel in some form or way, then Negan would likely be rescuing him all by himself and probably would have just ended up... Maggie... There are very few instances where you can kill Maggie. And what if Negan killed Maggie instead of Glenn? I replaced Maggie with Glenn. It just makes it really hard. What if the Croats stayed with Negan? That's going to happen, and I've touched upon the Croat in What If the Governor Met Negan, the remake. All right, we got about 10-15 minutes left of the stream here. I'm trying to think of ideas myself. I can't really think of anything, really. If Tomas wasn't crazy. Psychopath. then honestly, he would just be another backup dancer for frickin' Rick's group, like frickin' Axel and Oscar, and they only lasted so long too. So what if Tomas survived and everything? That's the best I can do for like regarding Tomas's character. I made him live a little bit longer with Andrew in What If Dale Survived Part 4 or 5, one of the two. So, yeah. What if Madison okay. I think I have that one saved. I might. I'll put it as a bonus. What if Madison never left? I have her joining other groups, but as for a cohesive whole, I don't think I have Madison being like with the group for the long run saved. So like, what if Madison stayed? That's what I'll name it. So we got 8 ideas and 1 bonus idea. So unexpected. Well, to be honest, it kind of was unexpected in the original when Tomas just went out of nowhere. So technically, it was unexpected there too, but in my story, I feel like it was the same amount of unexpected, or maybe like a little bit more. But if you've been paying attention to the whole story, like I said, you guys are really, really, really gonna like part 12 and 13. Respectively, since they're 24 minutes and then 33 minutes, it's filled with a lot of action. And like I said, I have never done an episode longer than 20 minutes, except for finales in my stories. But in order to tell how the story really changes and all of what I've been teasing, I had to make it that long. Because also I still have over 1,400 pictures saved up, especially for that long sequence of the story. What if Mika killed Lizzie? Well, then I feel like I have Mika surviving in almost all my stories, and her surviving till the end with What If Sophia Joined Negan. But as for that, I feel like nothing would change afterwards, except Mika would just be there with Carol and Tyrese, and then maybe just be an extra help. But other than that, I feel like I would just be rehashing material, explaining sequences with Mika. So a What If Mika Survived theme What If? I could honestly come up with something better for Tyrese, Abraham, and Carl, and a few others. But for Mika, I feel like What If Sophia Joined Negan? That did it enough. It made her survive till the end and like literally become a boss like Sophia, but definitely not like Sophia. So, like, what if Daryl and Rick killed Jesus? Okay. I gotta think about how that would happen. Or, like, what would happen afterwards. Well, one thing, they would have the truck, like my What If Eastman Survived. So that would be really good. But as for the rest, I don't know. That actually sounds decent. But it sounds like it could have a really killer plot twist. With like Gregory or maybe someone else from Hilltop finding out about Jesus' death. And then like them coming to Alexandria. Maybe like a Hilltop and Alexandria war. And that could make the Saviors even more influential. And Jesus, he might have been a combat expert, but the way they handled his character, besides fighting Morgan, beating the crap out of Daryl and Rick that one time, I don't know. I don't know. I'll do it. What if Rick and Daryl killed Jesus? All right, number 9. Technically 10 if I didn't save what if Madison stayed. What if Virginia Ranch was in The Walking Dead? Well, technically, if it was a Virginia Ranch, I don't say that I could make that possible. What if Madison actually killed Troy? One would have assumed that she actually did, but Troy is hard-headed. But apparently not hard-stomached. He doesn't have rock-hard abs, otherwise that freaking little arm through the chest thing would have not killed him. But, you know, we can't assume that he's alive for a third time's a charm because he comes back as a freaking walker and then, you know, Tracy kills him. Troy was definitely more deserving of his character, but at least when they did bring him back, they brought him back for 4 decent episodes. Charlie definitely got the raw end of the deal, only coming back for 1 episode. Jim was definitely not stronger than Shane, so that would not have happened. Shane was a cop, and we all know how tough Shane was, how friggin' big he was as a character. Jim? Nah. What if Madison actually killed Troy? Then the whole focus, I feel, would just be around Padre and maybe meeting up with Strand. I don't know. Then Alicia probably would not have... I just thought of something. If Madison actually would have killed Troy, that means that Alicia would not have been almost killed by Troy. And that means that Alicia and Madison might have reunited sooner. Maybe even when Morgan was still around. So literally, after her leave of absence at the end of season 7, honestly, that would have made them reunite like pretty much near when Morgan was about to leave. And who knows if he would have left after that. Huh. I've got it. What if Rick's... Oh, we got another freebie. So, you know how I already saved, and someone even suggested, even though I said that I saved it, Rick's group, the Saviors and the Whisperers all fighting at the end of season 8? Now we got another 3B battle. What if Rick's group, Dawn's group, and Gareth's group all fought? So that's 11 ideas. Yeah, Madison actually killing Troy would have changed actually a lot. Not only for the end, the ending of the 5 episodes of Fear, but the fact that Madison and Alicia, them meeting back with each other would have happened so much better. So ironically, Troy is probably and most definitely the reason why Alicia's character at the end of Fear, why her introduction and her final showing of her character sucked. So ironically, Troy, one of the best characters, being brought back to life, hurt Alicia coming back. Think about that for a second. I didn't think about that until just now. That's a weird way to think about it, but I loved both Troy and Alicia. Fear had problems, even if it was connected to the same universe, but that doesn't mean I hated the show. It just means that they could have done better. I've never outright hated a movie or show, but I have disagreed with how they've went down with them, if you get what I'm saying. So we got about 4 minutes left in the stream. So let's cast all the ideas that we can before we're ending. We've got 11 ideas, a bonus of 1. So, yeah. If Alicia and Dakota had killed Teddy, Dakota was already too far gone the second after she killed John and joined with Teddy. So honestly, it's just like, what if Dakota spared Teddy? I just don't see that much changing. I feel like Dakota would have just stayed around to get blown up in the nuke anyway. Her character was just really, really pointless. Charlie mattered more than Dakota, and she killed Nick. Not me. I don't know why I said not me. It's ironic. Me, Nick from Fear the Walking Dead, and Nicholas from The Walking Dead. Nick is obviously a very popular name. But yeah, we got 11 ideas plus the bonus, what if Madison stayed? So overall, not a bad stream. What if Dale killed Shane? That's saved for the future. Few minutes here, and then we're wrapping it up. Ignore that. That's just me stretching. Yeah, we didn't do too bad overall. Decent ideas today. What if Alden killed Beta with Arrow when he killed Gamma? I feel like him throwing the arrow at Gamma was on purpose, because Alden knew what Beta would do with Gamma's walker. So honestly, I don't see anything that would. I don't see what would change after that. Killing Beta off in the room where Daryl fought him, which I've done in the majority of my stories, seems like a good place to kill Beta, other than his original death bait. Other than that, I don't see too much that would make the story like good. But that Madison actually killing Troy, and like I said, those other few I mentioned, what if Negan killed Beta instead of Alpha? No, Beta was definitely way more perceptive than Alpha, and Carol specifically told him to kill Alpha, which we didn't know until he gave her the head. So for him to kill Beta, Negan may have overpowered him in the comics, but even if he was told to kill Beta, that would defeat the entire purpose of him getting out, just to kill the second in command. And it might have just made things worse. Alpha might have killed him. But anyways, that is all we're going to do for this stream. We're an hour and 20, and that's where we're going to end it. 11 ideas with the bonus idea of what if Madison stayed. Thank you guys for joining me today in the stream today. Even if we didn't get like some of the other people that we get in sometimes, we still got enough people that we got at least 11 decent ideas plus that one bonus. Because I feel like I did not save that one, but hey, I'll check after the stream here. Anyways, thanks for joining the Next Topic Saturday Q&A today, and I will see you guys next week for the next Q&A, and Monday for the next part to What If Dale Survived, because you guys are going to really want to stick around for next week whenever I upload, especially, like I said, 12 and 13. You really are going to want to see parts 12 and 13. But if you haven't caught up with the series yet, or any of my other videos or anything, you could always find them on my playlists, which I update every single day, at least the ones that I need to update. I haven't really touched the majority of my playlist really for a good minute. But anyways, like I said, if you haven't caught up with the series, you can go ahead and check that out anytime. And I spoil some of the stuff, or at least I have, on Discord. And you will see the series drastically change next week. I'll see you guys on Monday for the next part.